This is an interview with Pat Hammond. The interview was conducted on November 8, 2008 in Vancouver, Washington.
I started out in camp too. I did. You know, from when I was in 5th grade on, and absolutely loved it. It was a setting that I loved, and so went on to be a camp counselor and eventually directed camps. But I taught school right out of college for about 4 years, and then went on an outward bound trip, and from that then went on to grad school in experiential ed, and that's when it all sort of came together about what we were doing at camp and what I was trying to do in school and was only moderately successful in. Really had a basis, and it, you know, it was experiential ed, and that's what got me hooked onto it.
Yeah.
My high school counselor back then said I had 2 choices if I wanted to go to college. I could be a teacher or I could be a nurse. I didn't know there were any other options. I didn't really want to be a nurse, so I said, okay, I'll be a teacher.
Third one was always social worker.
Yeah, well, no, that wasn't even an option.
Really?
And so I went to the teacher's college and started teaching, but what we were taught in teacher's college back then didn't jibe with what I knew worked at camp, you know, involving people and what they were, you know, we were learning very different methods in it, and so I struggled. I taught in the public school system for a little over 4 years, and I struggled because it just, what I was taught didn't seem to work, and so when I found AEE, it was like, oh, this is legitimate, you know, and there are people who are really creating great things. But one of the things that I remember the most was when I was in grad school, a group of us went down to St. Louis when Hank Schaefermeyer was just starting Project Stream down there, working with the school district. And I was fortunate enough to be part of this workshop for teachers and introducing them to, you know, the experiential methodology and some of the things that you could do, like how big is an acre and figuring out how to do that, and some of the other ways that you could take regular classroom subjects and, you know, make them experiential and make them dynamic and interesting and engaging, and seeing them just, you know, blossom under that kind of thing, I think had a really great effect on me and is what kept me involved over the years.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it sort of leads along the same line to some of the biggest struggles that I've had are that whole being able to articulate, to justify, to come up with the arguments, the research, the whatever, to prove to people that this really works. Mm-hmm. You know, I've always felt the same coming home sort of thing with AEE, and because everybody understood it, and you didn't have to try and explain it. And I always thought that was one of my weaknesses, was that I was never good enough at either the politics or the articulation or the fundraising or whatever, in order to really convince the system, the powers that be, that this is really, really effective. And I think we're making progress in that area. I think really do.
Yeah.
But for me, I always felt like that was one of the biggest challenges.
I think we just made great progress on Tuesday.
Yeah, we did make great progress on Tuesday.
Oh, we did.
Did anybody get the memo?
I know for me, I talked about the poor teacher education that I had, you know, an undergraduate, and I learned, I like you know, when I was actually out practicing and doing stuff, I learned more at these conferences than I did in any of those courses.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And things that I could use, and things that are, you know, I implemented, and programs that are still going.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's that coming home feeling, knowing that I'm among other people that, you know, that believe this is the right way, that it's effective, that, you know, we can create atmospheres where young people can grow and learn and achieve. And knowing that I'm not necessarily a good practitioner myself, but I want to find ways that I can help support so that this can continue.
No, I don't believe that for a minute.
Well,
Practitioner.
I'm not the
wonderful.
best in the world, no, but I think I'm better at getting the people together who can then do that.
That's
Even if I
practicing,
can't
though.
do it.
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
Practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I want to make sure that this doesn't.
I'm curious about how it feels
Die.
now as coming back, not as CEO this for the first time now to the conference.
Actually, it's very comfortable because I was a volunteer for years.
Yeah.
And I was in and out of the organization since the mid-'70s, and so
Familiar.
it's a comfortable role for me
Yeah.
because it's not the only one that I've had being CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah.